Hey, so in financial maths grade 12, you have to do P formula, which is present value, which means you're busy with loans. You want to know you start off with a certain amount and you're doing loans for the rest. So number 7 says, of exercise 4.5 on page 114, number 7 says, an investment of 650 Rand is paid into an account every month. So that's definitely not grade 11. Every month, frequent installments. The interest rate is 8% per annum, compounded monthly. We've been seeing that they like monthly a lot. The first payment is made in 4 months' time and will continue monthly until the end of the 30th year. Determine the amount of money available after 40 years. Okay, so after 4 months, you're paying your first 650. Right? Is this a P sum or is this a F sum? F sum, because you are saving 650, 650, right? So what happens over here? Is there interest here?
No.
On what? So I'm saving. And this is the first money I'm putting in. If it was a loan, and you had loaned 2 million or whatever, and they said to you, don't worry, you only have to start paying in a month or 10 months or whatever, then that had to have interest. But this is just as well as you started there. On the 4th month, that's where your picture starts. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to pay monthly until 39 years, which means in 39 years, there's how many months? 39 times?
12.
Which is how much?
468.
468. Now most kids would have written 468 months, which is wrong. Because you only started on the 4th month, wherever you decided on this thing. You decided in January and you only paid there in April. But the thing with F now is you need to tell me, is this immediate payment or are you paying with a gap in the front? Because that's what you can do. I like it if you go to gap in the front because that's the formula that's on your formula sheet. If you did that, then that would be month 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it's not 4 months here that you've got to subtract. You've got to say that in, because it is 468 payments that you're going to make. It is. Are you with me? Is it? No, it's not. It's 468 minus how many other payments? On the 3, on the 2, on the 1, minus 3. So you're in
465.
1 of minus 4, because lots of kids are going to say minus 4. Because I only start paying on the 4th month, but you do pay on the 4th. Okay. So if you wanted to do the sum with a no gap, you could have. In this case, I'm going to say that n is 465. With that, with my normal F sum, with my normal formula, which you should try and remember, but double check on your calculator, on your formula sheet. Your 650 that you've been paying in, your interest rate they said was 8%. So it's 0.08, please, not 0.8, that's 80% interest monthly. And now here comes the story. Do I write 465? Do I write 468? Do some kids write 464? That's going to be the possible mistake. And if you made a mistake, how many marks? 1. For the rest, you'll get everything. Happy on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't stress too much about it. Which gives me an answer of 855. So let's make it 86. Can we agree on that? So paying 650 Rand for 39 years, right? Got me to over 2 million rands. Is it worth it to save? But it's not worth it to put it under your mattress. Because if you put it under your mattress, then the 465 times 650 got me how much money, please? 465 times 650 is
296,400.
302.
just double check for me, please.
Then 302 is 250.
Just double check. So it's 465 times that you are paying 650. Happy on that? You get your mistake? So, is it worth it to put it in the bank and get interest?
Yes.
300,000. 2 million. Definitely. Get it into an annuity, get it into an investment, save it in the bank. The bank is usually the least profitable. An investment or an annuity is usually the most. So that's what would be in the bank. Would this be your answer if you said 464
No.
or 468?
No.
So we would put that on our memos. Do you think 467 is okay? How did you get that? We're going to follow up on that. There's got to be a logical thinking, doing a mistake, and that wasn't logical. Are you with me? Normally, working with F is worth a mark. Doing the interest rate is normally an independent bar, and in there you see the problem. Now, if the child decided to work with no gap, and this would have been on the 4th month, this would have been on the 468th month after 39 years, which means that my end would be,
464.
but if you work with no gap, what happens to your formula?
N plus 1.
N plus 1. So what is that? 464 plus 1.
465.
Exactly the same sum. Do you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you wanted to do that, I try to always have us do the same thing with the gap in the front. Right. Let's have a look at the rest. Oh, the question is not finished. Because the question asked, how much money does he have in his account after 40 years? So I'm not done. If I stop there, I've got marks, but I'm not done. So then I still have to work out after 40 years. What sum is that?
Okay.
Because you're not busy putting in money anymore. The last time you put in 650 was at the end of 39 years. For whatever reason, the person decided to leave the money there for another year because he didn't need it for whatever. He's going away, he's doing something, he wants a little bit more interest. So doing this, I'll have to take the 2 million, which is a once-off amount, and put it there, like in grade 11, for a certain time. It's still under the same contract, the 8% per month, monthly done, and then it's here for 1 year. 12 months. Months, monthly, everywhere. It's got to go in connection with each other. Answer please.
2 to do 1. 435. 3,70.
So that got 7.
1.
Agreed on 1? Okay, now it depends, guys. Some people might not have rounded this off and got 5 what, and put that what in here, and then it would have been a little bit of a mistake. It's not really a mistake, it's a difference. So that would be your answer for after 40 years. Right. On to question number 8 on page 114. It says 28 semi-annual payments. Okay, it's a nice one because it's got something different. Usually the sums are monthly. 28 semi-annual payments of 5,000 Rand are made to repay a loan. A loan, so I'm immediately thinking P. We're going to get to a few sums. It's going to look tricky and you're going to think it's a P sum and then it's a F sum. Let's just get there. Okay. So it's a loan that you are repaying with 28 semi-annual payments. So the payments are what? 28. You don't have to worry about it, it's 28, because they told you there are 28 payments. So you've got a loan, and it's always got a gap in the front. And your N is 28. semi-annual payment. So how many years?
14.
Are you happy on that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to use the 14, but that's the picture. To repay the loan. The payments start in 3 years' time. So this is my first payment, right?
Yes.
So how many years went past? 3 years. But so in other words, what happened in the 3 years? This is a loan. So somewhere I took some money, didn't have to pay for 3 years. I don't know who was that kind to me for 3 years, but that doesn't mean I had no interest. Whatever I loaned from the bank has 3 years worth of interest on it. Then only I started paying it. This is my son. So they told me that there's 28 half years of payment. They told me that the interest rate is 13,2, so it's 0,132 half yearly. No, they said the words were compounded semi-annually. Okay? If they said it's compounded monthly, you had to go to, it is 12, that's right. But can you use it over 12 here and say it's monthly and half yearly? So which are you going to change to which with the effective and nominal interest rates that you've got to go work with? Am I going to change the 28 half years? No, that's the money I have and that's my plan. The bank is giving me the interest rate monthly. I need the interest rate to be biannually. So you have to change the interest rate from monthly to biannually with effective and nominal rates. Are you with me? So that everything is in the same. It wasn't, but it could be. Okay, and determine the size of the loan. So I want to know how much money I took. So if you forgot everything else, 28, oh sorry, I didn't write it down, 5,000. So it's 5,000 rand, sorry, per half year that I'm paying. Okay? And it only starts after 3 years' time. Okay, so if you forgot everything else and you just heard loan and you did loan, correct formula, double check on your formula sheets if you know this out of your head, and you just did the sum, you got marks because everything's there. The X is 5,000. The I is 13.2% and it's done half yearly. The half years they told me it was 28. Do you see what I've just written wrong?
Minus 20.
There must be a minus there. Make sure you've got the minus there. You'll see very quickly that your answer doesn't look like it's not a minus. So, but don't make mistakes like that. Bottom line, 0.132 over 2, and I can work out the answer. But then I might think I'm finished, and then you didn't get all the marks. What's the answer, please?
88,411,473.
Okay, 473. I'm going to round it off, and it's fine to round it off here now. That amount is the present value where?
It's wrong.
Is it wrong?
63.
Guys, help me here. Let's get the right one.
63. 103, 67752.
77, so going to try 6, 8. Are we happy?
Yes, ma'am.
Please double check. Okay. That's the amount here. Remember that your P formula has to have that gap in the front. So the 28 half years meant that this was up to here was the 14 years if you want. So 3 years before, they said to me, I only start working out, 28 years, I only start paying, where am I now? The payments only start in 3 years' time. So where's the 3 years' time? 3 years is up to there. That's when I pay. So this was 3 years from there to there was 3 years. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's work in half years then. So the gap has to be this 1/2 year. So how many months of interest was there here? Or how many half years, I'm sorry, was there? 5, right? Because it was 6 half years for the 3 years, but I've got to take this 1 unit away for the gap. So this will be 5 half years. Who's going to say 6? Lots of kids are going to say 6 for the 3 years. If they don't say 3, which is also wrong, they're going to maybe say 6, which is also wrong. But I'm not going to give you no marks. But what's the essence of it? I need to take this amount here and go backwards and find out what was the original loan. Will it be more or less than this? Less. The sum amount grew up to 63,000 in 2.5 years. Can you see that that's going to maybe be a problem? I don't think anybody would have had the 28 wrong because they said there's 28 payments. So this part should have been perfect. Here comes the trick. To know that there must be a gap. So for the 3 years, I have to go back with gap 1/2 year, making them 5 half years that's still there. So what is the actual sum? What would this amount be worth if I did what to it? Value? The AP formula with depreciation. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this value has to be depreciate for 5 half years. How does a depreciation sum look?
A equals to P plus 1 minus I.
And do you see that we very seldom work with simple interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Please will you remember when to work with simple interest when they say calculated with the straight line method or depreciation on the straight line method. Are you with me? Or even simple interest. So don't think that there's never going to be a simple interest, but there seldom is. Okay? Value depreciation, but in the same interest rate, because this is the whole package, it's always going to be 13%. So here it also grew at 13%. So 0,13 over 2, still half yearly, for 5 half years. Can you imagine that that would be the crucial part? The guys that were on the right track wrote 6. It's not the worst of mistakes. We'll give you 1 mark deducted and then give you the mark for the answer correctly worked out. What is the P or what is the A? What am I looking for? I'm looking for this original amount. Please don't get confused because this can be now confusing. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it because this is also P now. Okay, that was P, but don't think about it like that. This is the starting amount. The starting amount here, depreciating backwards to here. Where must I write the 63106? Is it the A? Is it the P?
The P.
And if you're sitting there and you're wondering and you don't think, oh, I don't know where it must be, and you do it and the sum doesn't work out right, then you know you did it wrong. Okay, but in this circumstance, I'm saying I end up with 63,000. After value depreciation, this was the original amount. This must be the lesser one. This must be the lesser one. Are you with me? I'm taking the 63,000 and this will be depreciated to get me this amount, which was A, which was her starting amount, start of the loan. If you want to just explain it to yourself a little bit better. Okay, so can it be confusing?
Yes.
Absolutely. Is there lots of marks to be had for the right formula, the right I, N, and whatever? Okay, please give me an answer.
44852,75.
So the loan originally, 3 years ago, was 44,000. When I started to pay, it was already 63. So those guys that come with those specials and say, buy now, pay later, they're saying to themselves, ha ha ha, you're going to pay for interest anyway. Don't think for the year that you don't have to pay for your car, there's not going to be interest. It gets added. That's just the way life works. Right. did an example like this. Question 7 says, how long in years and months should it take me to repay a loan of 850,000 Rand? What's the question? How long? That's in. So when you're working out in, logs. Are you with me? They do ask it because this is where they test logs. When you're in log graphs, they never use the log, no, not never, very seldom use any definition of the logs, except for writing it from inverse log to exponential. This is actually where you're calculating for n. So in grade 11, you were never asked for n because you need logs. You didn't have the F and the P formula either, but you had the normal, this one. Then you could work with n in grade 12, and I can ask you what is the time that it took for the depreciation, or whatever the case may be. Always keeping in mind that the I and the n go hand in hand. So if your I was per month, then your n would be months, whatever you work out. Same thing's going to happen here. So they're asking me how long would it take a loan, so that's a P sum, of 850,000 for if the first monthly payment of 20,000 is made 3 months after the loan is granted and the interest charged on the loan is 17% per annum compounded monthly. So there's a funny thingy happening in the front there. Sometimes we don't add any interest on the beginning. That's an F sum when I start saving. So it doesn't matter if I now say I'm going to start saving in December. Nothing's happening now because there's no money. But if it's a loan and I only start paying in a few months' time, I've got to go interest, just like I've done here. Okay? So let's get it all together. The 20,000 payments are made in every month, but only in 3 months' time. 3 months after the loan is granted. So I'm going to have, this is the 3rd month, and I'm paying 20, not per day, let's say just pay, okay, 20,000, and I'm going to keep on paying how long? Well, this is the question. I don't know how long I'm going to be paying, but I do know that the loan is 850,000. So I can start with my loan formula, not maybe exactly sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to get marks for doing what I'm doing here. Knowing that this loan is 850,000, you would lose a mark. Okay? You would lose a mark because it's not 850,000. A kid that does this is not going to lose all their marks. Are you with me? I know this is 20,000. I know the I, the N, I'm going to not have, either, there's going to be mistakes, but I am going to get some marks. Are you with me? So where should I start? Not 850,000. Can you see that I'm going to have on my memo those guys that did use 850 because I know that's going to happen. It isn't 850,000. It's 850,000 here when I took out the loan. There was interest. Keeping in mind that my P sum has to have a gap. So how many months of interest must I work out? 2 months. Are you with me here? So I'm taking a normal again. Is it a plus sum? Is it a minus sum?
Minus.
Is this going to be a plus or a minus sum?
Minus.
It's plus because I'm taking 850,000 and it's getting interest for 2 months. How many kids are going to use 3? Lots. I'm going to put that on my memo so I can mark easier. I know it's going to happen because they forget about the gap. So 1 plus, what was the interest rate, sorry? 70%. And it's monthly, right? Okay, monthly. And this was then 850,000. So can you imagine lots of kids didn't work this out and they just started with the 850,000? You'd not use all of your marks. Answer please. Oh, sorry, was this monthly next? Sorry, thank you. Monthly, 2 months. Answer?
874,253,92.
Okay, so it's already 24,000 more than what you started 2 months ago. That's reality. 17% is also a heck of a lot of interest that they're charging you. And you make the decision to stay with this bank or this facility that's making you a loan. Alright, but then this means that is your principal amount, your present value for your loan. Now we can go to the loan and say, which we wanted to do originally, but this shouldn't have been 850, 874, sorry. 874,253,92. X we know is 20,000, it's worth a mark. The interest rate is still 17% monthly. I'm trying to find out how long this is going to take me, and that's why I'm going to look for N. And the I is 0.17 over 12. We are definitely going for logs. So please do not just write that for me and give me the answer. I need to see where you've got a power, a base and an exponent, and a number, and then how you change that into logs. Work that out for me quickly, please. Okay, let's carry on with that sum. So how would I solve for n in this equation? First of all, you're going to times with the 0.17 over 12 as a fraction. Then you're going to say divide by 20,000. You can do that in 1 step or 2 steps. I need that one answer for me, please.
0.61.
Is it not a fraction?
No.
Okay, 0,
61926311933.
everybody agreed? I'm writing everything down because I'm going to do quite a lot of other stuff now as well. Equal to, on the other side, 1 minus the bracket to the power of minus n. And that I'm also now going to do. So now I'm using this one, and unless you're working with your memory, that's fine. Get to learn to know your calculator so that you're on track. Okay, this answer here is how much, please? 1 plus the 0.1.
1217 over 1200.
Okay, happy on that? Right? Then we need to still find our n. That's when we're going to now take this across to the other side so it's positive. It's just good practice. It's not the only way. So if I put the positive 1217 over 1,200, it's still going to be in a bracket though, or is it? Maybe then you're thinking that the minus n is just by the top. So maybe let's just leave it in a bracket. So the minus came to the plus side, and then this is 1 minus this. So it's going to be 0.4, what? What is it, please?
0.3807 3807.363.
No, I heard a dot, sorry. 3807.
368067.
Okay. Why is it necessary to write all this down? Unless you have it in your calculator, you don't. Then you can write dot. So that when you need it, you can go use it, but you still got to go to logs now. The logs will now be minus n is equal to log of base, and then that's going to be at the top. So in this case, not 0.8. In this case, I'm very happy with you for writing rather too much than too little, especially if you start doing these sums and all the time you're coming out with the incorrect answer. Then rather write all of the decimals. Because it does make, that's why I like the ones that come to something like over here, 5 over 6 or 17 over 18 or whatever nice fraction that I don't have to write all the decimals down. Your answer then for that should be a negative, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But you don't have to write negative n is negative whatever. You can just go ahead and write your n is going to be, and it has to be a positive. Because then negative, this answer would be times with a negative, giving me what?
68,65.
0.65.
Yes.
Okay, let's, if you want to write a few more, that's fine. 65 what?
645.
Okay. But what is this?
Years.
Months. That's what I'm getting at, sorry. Months. Because this whole sum was in months. Now what a lot of kids do, and you're welcome to do that, is when you start off here and you know that it's monthly, they write here negative 12 in. And that's fine. Depends on what your fancy is. Because then you will not forget when you get here, minus 12n to go and divide by 12, which you have to do now because that is months. So how am I going to get to years?
Divide by
Divide
12.
by 12. Are you with me? You'll see that in memos. They love to do that. It's just a matter of habit, and I never do that. And it's actually, I think it's a good habit to then be able to say, and if this was quarters, they'd say minus 4n. If it was half years, minus 2n, etc. Are you with me? So that you won't forget here to divide to get to the years. What's the answer in years then, please?
5,72.
Okay, so sorry. I thought we were finished there. So please, will you write 4, 5, I don't know, what was it?
4500.
Which when you divide it by 12 gives you, and it might be a little bit off from this one.
It's still the same.
Is it the same? It might be. It won't be a huge difference. Okay. So that is years, right? Listen carefully what the question was. What is how long in years and months? Silly question for normal maths. They would ask that in literacy, but you're going to lose a mark here. Because they ask you for how many years and how many months. Is that now 5 and 7?
No.
Definitely not. Are you with me? It's 5 years, yes. But comma 72 means,
6 months.
because decimals, this is 7/10 or 72 hundredths of a year. So you still have to say, to get it into, okay, now that's pure literacy. Okay, if you did say 7 months, the answer would be wrong. You'd lose 1 mark, so you're not going to sit forever and try and figure this out. But to do it right then would mean the 72 is over 100, but it's 70, what am I writing? Sorry, not 0,72. It is 72 hundredths because that's 0,72. Are you with me? 72 hundredths of what? Of 12 to get it to months, because in 1 year there is a 12 months. Please give me an answer.
8,64.
8,64. So if you write 8,6 months or round it off 9 months, can you see that the focus of this sum is definitely not on can you work out months? Are you with me?
Yes.
And since we are always doing the decimals, and you said 6,4, right? Let's leave it as 6,4, but here it would be so much leniency, because this is not really what the sum was about. Lots and lots of other more important stuff. But for saying 7 months, you would get 0 marks. But if you did any other correct thing, maybe even saying round it off, it's 9 months, 8,6 months, whatever, they would take that as your last answer. I would have said stop there. 0,72 months. That's enough. That's what we want to test. Right. Number 8 on page 118 says, Annie borrows 100,000 Rand from a bank and repays the loan by means of monthly payments of 5,000 Rand starting 1 month after the loan is granted. Is that something new?
No.
A loan is always gap in the front, 1 month. So they're just confirming it and trying to confuse you. It's just a normal sum. 1 month after, that's generally the norm. So in your P sum, your X is 5,000 Rand a month. Your loan starting at present was 100,000. So the amount that you're paying, 5,000, 5,000 for how many times, will be more than the 100,000. Are you with me? Because this includes the interest. So when you start paying, nobody asked you that, but when you start paying and you know that it's 50 times that you pay it, then that amount times 50 will be much more than what you loan, because you've got to have interest. Logical? Right? Then they gave you an interest rate of 13% per month. Your N then is in months. Now be careful. I showed you that sometimes kids write, because it's monthly, this is minus 12N. In this case, it would have confused you, because the question was, how many payments? And N is the amount of payments. I like it to just say N is this amount of months. If they didn't want me to take it to years, I'll do it. Otherwise, in this case, N is the amount of months, so that's the amount of payments. So don't confuse yourself being smart. Okay. And I have to get to N, so this is again logs. So please help me with an answer of, when you times with this fraction and divide by 5,000, what is this answer, please?
13 over 60.
I like that. Much nicer than a
60.
60. 16 sounded like 6. Okay. Okay? And the other side, we've got, we can leave away the big brackets, 1 minus the small brackets to the power of negative n. And what's inside of that bracket is?
1213 over 1200.
Alright? I like it. If you want to work with decimals, you're welcome, but you're making struggles for yourself. I still can't go to logs unless I've got just the power on one side, base and exponent. So I'm bringing it to this side. Do you see why my method is always to bring it to the left-hand side? Because then it's plus 1213 over 1200 to the power of negative. Are you with me, guys? Is there any problem if you left the minus on that side and you took the 1 to this side? No. The only problem that kids make is they take the 1 away and they also make the minus disappear. And on the other side, then we've got 1 minus 17 giving me
47 over 60.
And I'm ready for
Logs.
because it's base, exponent, and a number, whether it's a fraction, doesn't matter. So that my minus n would be equal to log of
121 over.
that one, and this one is over here, and you're onto your calculator with the base and the number that's standing there, and you can work it out. And remember, like I taught you, you can now just say n is equal to
2,66.
Give me more, please.
1371.
Okay, that's months, right? So the question asked, how many payments of 5,000 Rand will I make?
22.
22. Because the last payment is going to be less. It's going to be 0.6 of a payment. Okay, that's worth. Now, here comes the question. What is the final payment? Now, they didn't say first work out the outstanding balance, but that's what you've got to do. You'll have to first find the outstanding balance after 22 months. So it's a new P sum. Okay, and the new P sum says I'm going to do it with the little, what do you call it, the gap, and then the whole thing. But n is just now how much? 0, comma. All of it, please. Oh, 7, 1. Okay, it's a part of a month. So that I will know what this is at the start of. Now guys, the picture doesn't really compute because it looks like there's more than 1 month there, but just keeping in mind, I try to stick to the basics all the time. It is only an n of that amount. I want to find out the P, because that is on the 22nd month. Are you with me? I need to know what present value there is. How will I find that? New P sum. With still, ma'am, I'm not going to pay 5,000. I know you're not. But this is the arrangement with the bank. So I've got to work with a P sum as is. I need to know what this is. At the start of which month? Still 13. But there is 0 comma less than 1. 31371. Lots of writing. At least this time I can just say calculate. Okay? That answer should be less than 5,000. Because it's even less than a month. So it should be less than 5,000 that you owe in here. And how much is it, please?
3,409.66.
Okay, that is presently, when you step into there, you give them the 5,000 and they work it out, that's what they're going to say. That is what your settlement amount would be on that spot. But now, how does it work? You only have 5,000 Rand a month and you're paying it towards. So are you going to say, okay, well, here's another 3. If you wanted to, you could, and then that's what you would pay. Normal people then would have to wait for another month till their next paycheck to be able to pay this. So what would you then pay? Final installment. When? At the end of another month. Man, not after that much. Well, can you go in the middle of the month and pay it if you don't have your salary yet? What would your final installment then be at the end of the month, like normal people only have money then? You can pay it now, together with the 22nd payment, that would be your outstanding balance. But if you pay after another 1 month, what's it going to be? You're going to have to say?
8.
That is equal to? For another month's worth of interest. 1 month interest. Are you with me? If I have to go pay them, I'm going to have to take that 3309.66 and I'm going to have to pay at 13%. They never let me get away with anything for 1 month. How much is it?
3,345.51.
Okay, it's not a lot. It's 36 Rand more, but they never leave you alone. If you want to give